Hello, everybody, and happy Monday. Welcome to Chart Request Live. I am Sam Gatlin, an analyst from All Star Charts, and joined by my esteemed colleague, co-host, and boss, Mr. Alfonso de Pablos, coming to us live from the United Kingdom today. What's up, Alfonso? How's it going?
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up, Sam? Everything good?
Everything's good. Yeah, we have a lively chat today. We've got Mr. Zerby here. We've got Flush, and I'm not sure how you say this. The Nota Hobby.
Another hobby? Yeah.
Nota Hobby. We'll go with that. Les Spencer, please. Yep, that's why we're here. Nota Hobby. Yeah. I know you all just want more of the analyst team, so we're here to give that to you, and we're gonna crank through a ton of charts today. So everybody, drop your ticker in the chat, and we'll get to it when we have an opportunity. But as always, Alfonso, we start with the mailbag. So if you want to get your ticker included in the mailbag, you can send us an email at questions@stockmarketmedia.com, and you will get priority here in Chart Request Live. I know there's a few great charts or great tickers in the mailbag today, but Alfonso, you wanted to start with the Bitcoin mining ETF, the WAGMI, the We're All Gonna Make It ETF.
It
Looking
looks
really
very, very good.
nice here. What are you seeing?
No, I mean, it looks very good. I mean, I love all the coils in the crypto miners, even in the worst from this year, like Mara, even Riot, they're looking good. That ETF, it's really, really good right now, pressing against that shell of former highs. Uh, you know, uh, Poising for a nice breakout here. Look at the hood, look at the wolf. I mean, wolf, it's looking incredible. In the
Totally. A personal
past
favorite of
days.
mine, Alfonso, is the bull. So I got involved in the bull last week, looking at a recapture of this all-time high anchored VWAP.
It's beautiful. I mean, the setup there couldn't look any better right now. We call this a VWAP pinch, right? When two
Yes.
VWAPs converge and price is still in that range, creating energy and fuel before a massive and a wild move. And I think we will see in the Weevil a huge move in the coming days, to be honest. So the upside potential here is huge. And if you look at the chart, you will see also, a classic trend reversal base, at the same time that the two big webs are converging and trapping price in a tight range. So I think it's the best combination of patterns, and it's a really, really good setup right now.
Totally. And huge shout out to Mr. Brian Shannon out there, an absolute legend in the industry, the pioneer of not only the anchored VWAP, but also a multitude of VWAP patterns, including the VWAP pinch, which you mentioned there, Alfonso. One of my first personal favorite patterns. It just combines a lot of really effective technical patterns together into one easy to understand pattern. So I'm a huge fan of it. And some of the biggest moves in history have come from VWAP pinches. So yeah, huge shout out to the VWAP pinch and Mr. Brian Shannon.
Yeah,
We've also been talking a lot about the Japan,
very
Alfonso,
Japan. It's
pushing,
looking great.
pushing, yeah, 44,000 on the Nikkei.
Yeah, I mean, looking very, very good. It's looking very, very good. It took 35 years to exceed the 1989 highs. I mean, it's really impressive. I mean, how long did it take to make new all-time highs, right? And we're talking about a monster base here. As long as we're above that 1999 highs, I think a new like higher for Japanese stocks is underway. So I'm very bullish Japan. A lot of investors have been waiting for this breakout to happen, in the past 3 decades. And right now, today, we're getting that. So yeah,
Totally, yeah. And one of my favorites is the Nintendo. I grew
Oh
up playing on the Nintendo Wii,
yeah.
and it was a ton of fun as a child playing on that. So I have a lot of admiration for what this company has done in the gaming industry. And boy, does this chart look incredible. I don't think there's many charts in Japan that come close to looking this good. So it reminds me a lot, Alfonso, of the gold chart. Beautiful multi-decade cup and handle, and it's just absolutely screamed higher since it broke
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, no, that's yeah. Then the Nintendo looking very very good, pressing against new all-time highs, and I think if we reclaim that 24 level, I think we have still room to go towards 37, 38 toward the next extension, because we're seeing fresh breakouts in Japan, so very nice.
Totally. All right, Alfonso, that's enough of what we're seeing. I want to know what our fans are seeing out there. So let's start with the mailbag, and then we'll get to the YouTube chat. I see you, Wavy McFly. Thank you for showing up here today. One of the best stock market TV chatters out there. Wavy McFly. Mr. Zerby's also elite, always dropping excellent tickers in the chat here for Chart Request Live. So I appreciate you being here, and we'll get to your tickers as soon as possible. But Alfonso, what is the first ticker from the mailbag today?
Okay, let's stick with Japan. Let's take a look at MUFG.
All right, so this is wow, $180 billion bank from Japan. Looks like they do it all. Look at this whole company description. They are really doing it all there. This one was founded in 2001, headquartered in Tokyo, Japan. Does not look like it was founded in 2001. Looks like a lie there from TradingView. You'll notice if you read enough of these company descriptions on TradingView that half of them are poppycock. So I would be careful with that. First and foremost.
These Japanese financials are looking great. That's a reality.
Dude, are they the best in the world, Alfonso? And we've been talking a lot about the Deutsche Bank and these European banks, but do the Asian banks beat them out? I mean, this one has gone from $3 to 16 just a few years, and you've seen similar moves like in South Korean banks. So what do you think about that? I know you're following these pretty closely.
Look, I mean, I will say, international financials over the US, that's for sure. That's sustained, right? But between Europe and Asia, I mean, they both look great. You got
to pick one, Alfonso. Gun to your head. Pick one. That's not an answer. That's a cop-out, Alfonso. The people want an answer.
No, I will stay probably with with Europe. I will say with Europe.
Wow. Okay. All right. I see you.
I will stay with Europe.
Okay.
But even but although they look very similar, the recent moves in the past year, in the past few months, have been parabolic. They have been they have gone on a vertical line, and this is a great example. We're talking about a monster rounding bottom formation pressing against that shelf former highs, from decades ago, right? So if we reclaim that level, let's take a look around 16. We can reclaim 16. This trend reversal, it's very well underway.
Totally, yeah. This looks awesome. Who brought this one along, Alfonso?
Hansen. Shout out to Hansen. What a great chart this is. And it's
such a clean level there at 16 and a half. So I really like that about it too. And if you get above there, I don't think it'll take long to get to 28.
Yeah, and look, when you look at this chart, of course, we have been grinding higher for quite some time, right? For me, the perfect entry was around 7.5, 8, around that area, right? But if you are not on the boat I think you can reevaluate this thesis again at this level, right? So 16 represents a logical level to define risk. Wouldn't be crazy to think some consolidation here around this key resistance level, right? So let's say I think you can define risk around this area.
I think we'll get a lot of information on how this consolidates here too, Alfonso, because this one's been on an absolute tear. It would be pretty logical for this to digest its gains here, but if it just goes straight sideways in a high and tight bull flag, that's the most bullish setup I can picture here.
That scenario will be very, very
price.
Yeah.
You don't want to see this one have to come back towards, $12 or something like that. I mean, it would be constructive, don't get me wrong, but, the most bullish scenario is just a straight sideways consolidation.
Beautiful way to digest some gains to, after that, continue to its upward path. So, yeah, I agree with that. That's a nice chart.
What else do we have, Alfonso?
Carl is asking us about CRS.
Okay, I think, we've charted this one out before, the CRS, the Carpenter. So this is one of the best performing, I believe it's a steel, like metal fabrication. I'm not sure what they're doing, but man, they are absolutely crushing it, making some specialty alloys. I would imagine they're doing that for like the airline industry, but I'm not really sure. I'd have to dive into the company a little bit more, but man, what an uptrend here, Alfonso. This is how I see it. So this one has just been dead money since it peaked in 2007, and then it broke out decisively in the spring of last year. And let's see if we can get some Fibonacci extension levels here to help us out, because we are flying in uncharted territory here, Alfonso.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like 300. That's a big level for the CRS. It came pretty close to it.
Yeah, and speaking of decisive breakouts, there's no pullback to the former highs. The best breakouts happen without pullbacks. So this is a great example of that.
Totally. I'm glad you said that, because this was a gap and go here. Let's zoom in and see if that was an earnings report that got it to gap and go. So we were talking spring of 2024.
Yeah, May 1st, 2024.
Wow, okay. So they reported mixed results on May 1st, and the stock rallied about 15%.
Yeah.
Man, this is such a beast. More short term, I think it's looking a little vulnerable here. Looks like that 240 level is where the buyers are showing up over very short time frames. Mm-hmm. So if you get a break below there, I think it's likely heading back towards this, let's call it 214 level. So 240 would get you 214. I think that would be a very viable pullback. This one has been an absolute beast, so it's more than earned some type of corrective wave, Alfonso. Would you be down there at 214?
I like what you mentioned about the 240 level and that that short-term support. If you drop the VWAP from the April lows, that VWAP it's right there. So this is a huge level for CRS.
Wow, I'm glad you mentioned that. That's so clean. And momentum not getting oversold here. You're down in the 30s. You need to see the bulls step back in and get this one back towards 70. Keep it out of oversold territory. This is like a battleground right here, Alfonso. The buyers and sellers are punching each other right in the face, back and forth, back and forth. So it'll be really interesting to see who wins here. I like this setup.
And for me, as long as we're about 240, the path of the resistance is still higher. Below 240, leave it alone. Some corrective wave could be happening if that happens. So that's the level for me, 240.
Totally. It was Carl that brought this one along. Is that right?
Yep. Yep.
Wow, Carl, great eye. Thank you for bringing this one along. This is not a chart I've been following very closely, but I am certainly going to put this on my radar because what a setup here. And Alfonso, this is why we do Chart Request Live, because, you know, we look through thousands of charts each week, but we still miss some setups like this. You know, this slipped through our cracks.
And this one is looking very, very good, to be honest.
Totally. This is great. I love it. And during strong bull markets, Alfonso, it can be difficult to get into the strong uptrends. You know, buying high and tight bull flags is one of my favorite ways to enter a strong uptrend. But, you know, sometimes you have to buy the pullbacks in really strong uptrends. And I think you could, let's put on like let's see, let's get this out of the way. We could put on a moving average. I bet there's a big moving average coming in at this level. So here is a simple moving average. I'll make it a 200-day, and let's see if that is coming up around here. So inputs, let's go to 200, not 300. So 200-day moving average here. And okay, so this is exactly what I was talking about earlier, Alfonso. So if this one loses 240, it's going to 214, and that's exactly where the 200-day is hanging out. So yeah, I think that could also be an ideal entry in this strong uptrend.
Yep. No, I mean, I think this is the best example to talk about the theme, right? We have a short-term support here, holding with the big one from the April lows, big level to 40. And if we lose that level, you know, I mean, the next logical level of support will be around the 200-day moving average that also coincides with the shorter former high from earlier this year. So it makes sense, you know, to see prices, you know, catch some support in that area as well. So these are big two levels in CRS. I like it. And, you know, so far we're above that level. So, you know, I'm still leaning to the upside in this name.
Totally. Yeah. Shout out to metal fabrication. Not enough people talk about these stocks, Alfonso. They've been awesome during this bull market. It's not just about AI stocks, you know. What else do we have, Alfonso? That was Carl's pick.
Yeah, let's take a look. Let's start taking a look at some of the chat. Let's see.
I see we have a request from Mr. Zerby. We've got Flush in the chat. We've got Frey Lee here. Nicholas Flynn, Carter.
Yeah, let's take a look at the Mr. Zerby's ticker VITL.
So this, I'm glad Mr. Zerby brought this one along because this has been on my mind as of late. I'm trying to pull up my other screen here because I know this one has a ton of short interest, Alfonso. The short sellers don't like the eggs. What's the deal? I love eggs. I don't know how you could ever short the eggs.
22 short interest in this name.
Okay, it looks like 9 days to cover too. So, man, okay, I like this setup. Let's get this moving average off of here. Let's zoom out on this to start with.
Yeah, beautiful chart.
Wow. Okay, Mr. Zerby. I don't know how anybody's going to beat this, Alfonso. This is my chart of the day right here.
I mean, I was thinking the same.
Wow.
It looks so good.
This is how they draw it up in the textbooks.
No, it's beautiful. That's a nice cup and handle. Price reclaiming a key resistance level that also coincided with the IPO level, right, from 2020, making new all-time highs. And, you know, the risk is very well defined around 43, 44. And, you know, the short interest, it's high, 22%. So it has all the recipe, you know, all the pieces are coming together for nice squeeze higher here. So I love this one.
Totally, yeah. And Alfonso, I also love how this one has, it IPO'd back in 2020, got absolutely crushed. It went from like 43 to close to $8, and then it round tripped back to that IPO level, failed, and then it tried again here earlier this year and failed. But look how the buyers quickly stepped up each time. That
Yep.
just speaks to the underlying bid this one has. The sellers have tried to break this one down, but they have just failed miserably, and it's carved out this beautiful
Yeah,
little handle here
that
to go on the
pattern,
cup.
yeah, and that pattern there, price. Let's wait. Going sideways since almost for a year now, right below resistance. For me, it speaks buyers absorbing all the overhead supply, and right now it seems that the decisive move it's coming. It's already underway.
I think it's happening right now. Yeah, look at this, Alfonso. We're just looking at the cup, or we're looking at the handle of the cup. So here's a beautiful base. One fail here in last summer. Another fail here in January. Now it's going.
Look, the catalyst here. Earnings in August 7. The reaction was almost 18% on that day.
Wow.
We are having some follow through. So I love when that happens.
Totally. This looks amazing. This one has had, let's see, looks like, let's get the measuring stick out here. So this one has had, I messed it up. So it's had 10 consecutive green candlesticks, Alfonso. That screams overwhelming amount of demand for the stock to me. And, there's absolutely nothing bearish about that. This is a beautiful setup. So yeah, I think Mr. Zerby, we can just call it right now. You get chart of the day. All right, you win.
Yeah, it will be very hard to get a better chart. But yeah, let's take a look at another one. Let's take a look. The Flash is asking us about ONDS.
Okay.
Very nice chart. Yeah.
Let's see what this is. This is a $1 billion telecommunications equipment stock. So they are in the wireless radio systems business from Boston, Massachusetts. All right. ONDS, I see you. So this one's trying to turn the corner from worthless penny stock into some type of company that doesn't suck. That's never a process that happens overnight. It tends to begin with big bases like this. This one has been straight sideways since early 2023, and it's just now entering a brand new primary uptrend. So, this one, it's kind of already off to the races. I'm not sure if I would get involved here. The weekly RSI is at 81. Let's see what the daily RSI is doing. It's a little bit more reasonable here. Yeah, all right, that's 68. So yeah, not too overextended. Maybe I was being a little dramatic there. Yeah, this looks great here. So this looks like 340. That's the level. If you get a retest of that, I think that's very viable. Or you could risk 60 cents at this level. That's not really for me. But this looks great. Yeah, that's a brand new uptrend in a small cap tech stock. So
beautiful. And if you drop the VWAP from the all-time highs, you
drop it from here, or what is this?
No. From the other high from February 2021.
Yeah, I see you.
Yeah, I'm using that. Yeah, that high. We just reclaimed that. And yeah, in this case, you have your risk very well defined around 340. Let's call it 340. So as long as we're above that level, the path of least resistance is clearly higher in this name. Beautiful trend. Beautiful.
Let's look at it relative to IWM, Alfonso. It looks exactly the same. Love that.
Beautiful.
Cool.
What a good chart. What a good, the relative trend, it's looking very, very good. So, I mean, the relative trend is confirming the absolute trend. We love to see that. So,
We have AJ Greger in the chat. Definitely looks textbook, classic William O'Neill. That's exactly right. This is, yeah, you'll see this exact pattern in a lot of technical analysis textbooks, because this is what you see before brand new primary uptrends. You see these textbook rounding bottom. The Edwards and McGee called it a saucer pattern. I like to call it a more of just a basing formation. I don't think you need a fancy name for it, like a saucer. Sometimes you have like the Kardashian bottom. You have the one base and then another base. It kind of looks like a W, if you will. You can get cute with the names, but
yeah, I mean,
the bottom line is this is what you see before the best uptrends.
Right, exactly. Oh, that's
cool.
Right.
Great request. This was Flush, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was Flush. Really good one.
Cool.
Really
Huge
good.
shout out to the Flush. Man, this is not one that's been on my radar. I bet this one's popping up in the minor leaguers, though, Alfonso.
Probably. Or maybe next week, probably. We will see it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Cool. All right. What else do we have?
Let's take a look at GLD.
Okay. All right. So I've been looking at GLD with this VWAP anchored to that April 22nd bearish engulfing candlestick, which marked the short-term top for gold. And look at how it's just gone straight sideways, Alfonso. Earlier we were talking about how the best uptrends correct through time, not price. And that's exactly what's happened here. You've just gotten, let's see how many days this is. So it peaked on April 22nd. It is now August the 18th. So that makes it 81 trading sessions of nothing. And it's just been whipsawing above, below, above, below, above, below. This anchored VWAP. This is whipsaw city right here. So I love to see that. That's what you need in strong secular uptrends, Alfonso. It can't just go up.
And if you pull up the chart of gold futures and see where this sideways trend is happening right now. It's at the 261 extension level. It's a logical level, to consolidate and give it a pause at least. So it's looking good there. It's looking good, and as you mentioned before, the best corrective waves happen through time, not through price. So that's a good example.
Totally, and look at how gold futures have acknowledged this 261.8 extension. For all you gamers at home, this is why we're always talking about Fibonacci. The market acknowledges these levels. We're not just drawing random lines on our charts. These lines matter a lot, and they come into play time and again. When I first got into this business, I thought this was complete voodoo. No way the market cares about this random Fibonacci number, but man, I have been convicted. It matters a lot, Alfonso. You've just gotten 3 consecutive monthly doji candlesticks at this level as the overhead supply is being absorbed at this key extension level. So I love it.
No, I love it.
Great.
I love it too.
Looks like the Frey Lee brought this request. So
yeah,
shout out Frey Lee. I always love to talk about precious metals. Maybe one day you'll bring along the platinum and palladium tickers, because man, those are getting me excited these days too. Alfonso, what's next? We have time for a few more tickers, so pick your favorite 2 out of the chat, and we'll.
Yeah, let's go with Nicholas. Let's take a look at the old Zoom. What happened with Zoom?
Zoom, what a gross company this is. Man, this is just such a mess, Alfonso. I don't think there's anything to do with this. We were talking with the ONDS that. Let's see, it looks like Flush brought this one along. So this is a textbook bearish to bullish reversal pattern, and now we're getting a resolution of that right now. However, Zoom is just still stuck in the box. There's absolutely nothing to do with this one. If you're a long-term investor and you have some reason to be bullish on the long-term outlook of Zoom, then this would make sense for you to accumulate. Like if you're an institution with billions of dollars to move around and you need time to accumulate shares, it makes sense to get involved down here. But me, Alfonso, I don't matter at all. I'm not moving in these markets, and I don't need to get involved in a complete trendless mess like the Zoom communications. I want to see this one break out.
Yeah, I mean, and in this case, we have been in a solid bull market, right? I mean, the market has been ripping even since we bottom in April 7, right? Making new all-time highs. Everything has been working. And the fact that Zoom is doing nothing, that's your answer, right? Why will you want
exactly right? This is relative weakness. This is opportunity cost.
I mean, it's relative weakness. I mean, why will you want Zoom to be in your portfolio right now? Doesn't make any sense for me, unless we see like a meaningful change in the relative trend and in the absolute trend. But until we're still stuck below, you mentioned 90 level. I would say 90. Just leave it alone. Don't touch it. It's worthless, to be honest.
It's shaping up though, Alfonso. Like I do see the potential here. Like we talk about the not a zero pattern all the time, which is, you have the IPO, you have a big pump, then you get a big dump back to that IPO level. You get a little shake below that. You've gotten the shake, but you just haven't gotten the bake yet. That's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for it to break out and get going, but the market needs to prove it, because I'm not giving this one the benefit of the doubt.
Like you can wait, all the time you want, but I don't like the sim. And it needs to prove me, more evidence as a bullish action here in a meaningful way. Until that, not for me.
Totally, yeah. Nicholas, thanks for hurting my eyes with this one. This is the not chart of the day. It goes to Nicholas. We should start doing that, Alfonso. Worst chart of the day.
No, but look, it's interesting. The fact that Zoom has done nothing in the past 2-3 years. Mm-hmm. At the same time that the rest of the market has been winning higher and enjoying a healthy bull market, that speaks volumes here. So it is a no for me. No,
totally. I'm with you. Let's finish with a good one, Alfonso. Give me something good to look at. I still don't think anything's going to beat the Vital, but I want something to compete with that. Because
you want to take the Canadian dollar? Yeah, let's take the Canadian dollar.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah, Jonathan is asking us about the Canadian dollar, USD CAD.
Yeah, man. So this is what I like to call the inverted Kardashian bottom. So you have one butt cheek right here, and then you have another over here. It's not the cleanest, but you get the picture. You're seeing a similar thing in the IBB, actually. So if you zoom into a weekly chart of the IBB, that's what this Canadian dollar pattern reminds me of. You have one butt cheek here, and then another over here. It's probably not a top. It's already gotten slammed. You don't see massive tops like that after downtrends. This tends to be more of a bottoming formation. So that's where my head is at with the CAD USD. But what other intermarket information can you get from this, Alfonso? This one has screamed off the lows. Now it's at a key level of interest here. So this was former support turned into resistance. Now the market's trying to turn it into support once again. So let's just use a line chart, make it clear as day what's going on here. So support, support, support. Flipped into resistance in November of last year. And now we're breaking out and retesting that level. So this is a big level in the CAD USD, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I like that level in the CAD.
What do you like to overlay with the CAD? Do you like to look at gold miners, crude oil?
Yeah, I mean,
financials.
We could say crude oil, right? I like to overlay with the crude oil. But right now I'm trying to, trade, crude oil, not trying to overthink the intermarket landscape, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm totally with you there, Alfonso. Yeah. So we're heading to Canada next month, actually, Alfonso.
Yeah, that's true.
I have personally never been to Canada. I've lived in the United States my whole life, so it's pretty amazing how I've never made it to Canada. It sounds like such a
Do you have your passport ready?
Say that again?
Do you have your passport ready, or?
I do. Definitely have my passport ready. Yes,
Okay.
I'm heading off to Greece immediately after we go to Toronto next month. So I will be a traveling man before you know it, Alfonso. I am pumped up for it, ready to go.
I mean, yeah, we will meet here in Europe. That's for sure, my man.
I'm looking forward to it, Alfonso. So let's leave it here for the day.
Live together from Europe. So
Europe sounds like such a wonderful place, and there's a lot going on in Greece. They have some amazing islands and amazing people, but man, I have to be honest with you, Alfonso. The food is what gets me most excited. It sounds like the consensus in the foodie community is that Greece has the best food in the entire world. And, I'm not ignorant to food. I know there's some amazing food out there. Go to Tokyo, go to Mexico City. There's a ton of different places where you can get amazing food. Spain, another one up there on Mount Rushmore. But I don't know.
To be honest, I think you were about to say it because of the stock market in Greece and the ETF. It's looking so good. I think that was your main reason. But,
totally, yeah.
The food, it's fair. It's fair.
This is not a bad reason to go as well. I mean, what an uptrend here. Let's look at the yearly candlesticks. I don't do this very often, but I have a feeling this is going to look like a god candle here in Greece.
Oh my gosh.
Look at this, Alfonso, up 69% this year. Shout out to Greece, pushing new all-time highs in the Greek ETF, looking absolutely amazing. And this was one of the hardest hit countries during the Great Financial Crisis. So to see all of those dogs of the GFC come back to life in a big way this year is a really, really nice feather in the cap for the bulls. I'm not going to be bearish on this market until they come for Greece, till they hit Japan and the Deutsche Bank. It's just really difficult to be bearish a market when that's happening.
Risk-seeking behavior when you look this, countries outside of the US making new highs and perform even better than the United States. So, yeah,
totally
agree with you.
So let's get out of here, Alfonso. I think that Mr. Zerby, for me at least, was the chart of the day with the vital.
That was definitely the chart of the day.
So let's look at the weekly chart. This is what we were looking at earlier. Beautiful chart. So did anything come close to this for you, Alfonso, or does this take the lead decisively?
I mean, no, for me, this is the chart.
Totally.
The first time I see it, I noticed that it will be the chart of the day. Beautiful chart.
This is awesome. I really appreciate all of you being here. Mr. Zerby, we've got Flush, No to Hobby, Wavy McFly, we've got Carter, Frey Lee, all of you. Thank you so much for being here. And if we did not get to your ticker today, please forgive us and send us an email at questions@stockmarketmedia.com. That is where we collect tickers for our mailbag for each episode of Chart Request Live. Again, that's questions@stockmarketmedia.com if you want your ticker in the mailbag. That is all we have for today. Again, huge shout out to Mr. Zerby for bringing along the Vital Farms. This is such a beauty. Let's wrap it there, Alfonso, and we will catch you all again, same time, same place next week on Stock Market TV. For today, I am signing off as Sam Gatlin. This is my esteemed colleague and co-host, Alfonso de Pablos. Have a great day, everybody. Adios.
Thank you, everybody. See you.